I've done this for so many times now, working with clients, and have a great degree of confidence in this. But recently, I worked with a client where I was doing my typical value pricing, and I was surprised when I shouldn't have been surprised, I guess is the way to put it. And just to tell you the story around that, so I was doing a project for a company that was licensing data, and brought me in to say, hey, Ed, can you help us establish value-based pricing? Okay, great. And I was especially confident about this because I had worked at Forrester Research, which is a company here in Cambridge, as a product leader for a data product in customer experience data, CX data. So I said, oh, definitely. I mean, I know this business. Data is a little bit different than software, because you're licensing syndicated data. And I said, hey, this is great. We can do this. And what happened was, as I got into it, one of the things that I like to do in a pricing project is I assess the current pricing strategy, because sometimes you don't need to change the pricing strategy. You just position the product better on value, to baseline to understand what the current discounting is. That seems pretty obvious before you can make the recommendations for that. My mistake was I didn't realize that this company was very unsophisticated in terms of their approach to pricing, which really surprised me because their data product portfolio was much larger than I dealt with at Forrester, and Forrester had a good basic pricing capability at that company. This company had nothing. I mean, literally zero, and I had never encountered that before. It was completely sales led. So because of that, there wasn't good data in tracking what they had in terms of discounts. They were revenue driven, and didn't really care about price integrity at all. Every deal was a special deal, and they thought, hey, this is data, very high margins. We'll sell it for what we could sell it for. So very inconsistent ad hoc type of pricing, no controls, no review, no tracking at all. And my mistake, to sum it up, was that this company was not ready for value. You have to have at least some sort of basics, capabilities or maturity before you can take on value. And what I should have done was basically took a timeout on that project and say, hey, wait a minute, you guys aren't ready for this. We need to kind of go back and see what we can do to basically put some basic pricing structure on it, which they probably wouldn't have wanted to do anyway, because there was that misalignment there, big company misalignment, where one side wanted value, the other side wanted to do what they always did. And so, consequently, I stuck with the project. I did the best I can with the data that I could get. Uh, but, overall, that wasn't my best success.